Welcome to the present moment. Welcome to the Darla Beam Leadership and Coaching Podcast.
Hi there, I'm Darla Beam with DB Leadership, and welcome to this episode. Today we're going to be talking about something that's come up a lot, something that parents actually ask me a lot about, which is around what do I do in the moment when we're in a sort of conflict or disagreement. What do I actually do? How do I navigate through challenges or challenging conversations and when I'm feeling triggered or when I'm feeling upset, when things aren't perfect or wonderful? So we're going to talk about that. Have a cute little acronym that's fun to play with and helpful to remember. And we're going to talk about that in a second. And here's what I want to say first, okay? Two things I want to say first. The first thing is we need to have a vision of what you do want. That is the very first thing. In other words, like, let me give you an example, okay? Sometimes I make up this story of like, if my daughter and I aren't connecting, I immediately go to some small part in my brain goes, oh my gosh, she's not connected to you. You're not going to have a good relationship with her later. She's never going to speak to you. And this kind of thing. And it kind of goes down this, even if it's really quiet and really, really subtle. My sort of ego or saboteur is really quiet. It's like this little voice. And she just says, oh yeah, that's how you were with your mom. Or, that's how you were in this relationship. And that's what's going to happen here. And then, of course, my brain looks for data to support that and how that's true and all those kinds of things. So I go down that path. My brain goes on that path of like what I don't want. All right. This is particularly true in conflict situations or when I'm unhappy or disconnected, that kind of thing. Instead, what needs to happen first is I really want to sit down and think about or write down, what is it that I actually want with her? What do I want to create with her? She's a teenager, and so you can probably relate to what I'm saying, because even if you don't have teenagers right now, you used to be a teenager at one point or another, right? So, and things were never 100% copacetic with our parents when we were in our teen years. And if they were, that's another thing to talk about. So here's the thing. Here's what I want you to do. Just pause for a minute and just think about what do you want it to look like with your kid in 5 or 10 years when they're in college or out of college. And just grab a piece of paper and write it down. I guess for me, what I want in the relationship, I want them to be autonomous. I want them to be interdependent. I want them to be creators in the world and leaders. What I'm wanting in the relationship is, at that point, way down the line, is some kind of I don't want to say partnership, but just a mutual understanding. And of course, love and respect and that kind of thing. Yeah, that's what I want. I just want to have some kind of a connection. That's what I'm looking for. So that's the vision that I'm driving to. Okay. So once I've got that clear in my mind, okay, what's the thing I do want? I can start to practice. And this is a practice. That's the second part of what I want to say. The first part is before we're in the moment, before we're in the conflict, before we start talking about the real, the issues, like my kid's always on their electronics, or they go to their room and they never talk to me, or they're always sassy, or whatever it is, the first thing is back up and remove the things that you don't want. You can write them down on a piece of paper and set them aside. That's fine. We're not going to forget about them. I promise. Right? So that's the first thing. The second thing is really take a minute to sit and reflect about what do you want? What do I want? Okay? Because in the moment, it's so easy for our minds to go crazy and think, oh my gosh, because she's sassing me right now, she doesn't respect me and she's never going to respect me and that kind of thing. She's never going to respect her boss and how's she going to keep a job and this kind of stuff, right? So the next part, okay, is that remembering that this is a practice. It's a practice, you guys. Like, I don't get it right all the time. I mostly get it wrong. And it's just like lifting weights or your job, okay? Day one on the job, you didn't know everything. You weren't perfect. You had to practice, shadow, train, those kinds of things. Same thing with this. Same thing with parenting. The only difference is, number one, we don't usually get on the job training, right? And two, this job is 24/7, whereas most jobs we go to, we punch in, we punch out. Well, in this day and age, we're probably still connected by email or that kind of thing, but often we'll have a start and an end time. With parenting, it's kind of a constant barrage. It's a constant, program that's running in the back of our brains. So just being mindful. The first day you hit the gym, you're not going to have huge muscles. But what do we focus on? We start to focus on, where am I looking fit? My shoulders are looking better, or, my biceps are getting bigger, or I'm seeing definition, or whatever it is. Same thing with this. It's the same thing. So every day we're wanting to look a little bit more at, how was I a little closer to my vision of connection? And I'll give you an example of that, right? Like, for me, it's my vision of connection, like I just said. And so I might say, well, you know what? Yesterday, I picked up one of my daughters and I took her to dinner right after school. We have this special time we spend together. Yesterday, I did have to leave and go to another kiddo's game. And I was able to spend that time in the car on the way over there. And we sat down, we connected, we talked about our day, focusing on that. What did we do, right? That's a little bit closer. It's a baby step closer toward my vision. Did I create connection? Yes. Was it for 3 hours? No. Was it for 10 minutes or 30 minutes? Yes. Great. Good job, Darla. And yes, of course, there's that voice in the back of my head. It's like, oh yeah, but it should have been blah, blah, blah. It should have been more. It should have been, I can't believe you left her and went, and let her sit at home while you went to the other kid's game. That voice is always going to be there. Great, thank you, got it. And here's what I'm going to focus on. Okay, so those are the two most important things. A lot of people come up with like acronyms and all kinds of stuff, and I just said I'm going to bring one to you here in a second. And if we don't know what we're driving to, let's think about this. If you're at work, okay, do you say, oh, customer, I have no idea what it is that you want, and I'm not sure what we can deliver on, but hire us? No, we have a plan. You have a business plan for your business. You have a proposal for the client. You know what the end game is going to look like. Same in parenting. Getting clearer and clearer about what that looks like, and stopping and acknowledging the baby steps. Baby steps. Okay? So what happens when we go off plan? What happens in the moment when we get triggered? That's the question that I get asked a lot. So the acronym, and apparently Poe, that's my puppy, he wants to be let in on this conversation. And the acronym is STOP. We're going to tell Poe to stop. So S-T-O-P. S is for stop. T is take a breath. So dogs, just like kids, he's going to open it. Look at that. S-T-O-P, Poe. S-T-O-P. A little bit different because they don't understand language. So T is take a breath. So just even right now, just take a deep breath in with me. And a deep breath out. Of course, there's a part of me that wants to go a little nuts because he's breaking down the door, you know, and just like with kids, it's not going the way I want it to go. It's not going the way that I planned. Didn't plan for a dog to walk in here when we're doing this, having this conversation. So I just take a breath. Okay, the next part, which I just started to go into, is own your impact. What's my impact? Honestly, like my impact is I want this to be a great video. You know, I want it to be perfect. Okay? So the part of me that's getting triggered, if I look inside of myself, why am I so upset? He's a dog. Who cares if he walks into the room? Well, honestly, I want this to be good. I want it to not be distracting. I read up on how to do a good, you know, YouTube post or a video, and it said, don't have distractions, you know, minimize distractions. So that's my part, wanting to be perfect, wanting to be good or good enough, right? And how I hide that, if I'm going to be really honest and go really deep with you guys, how I hide that is I say, but I want it to be good for you because you're listening. And so it's my duty to make it good for you. That's how I hide it. That's how my ego hides it and justifies it, right? Even now you can see I'm taking a deep breath. So that going back from O to T, it can happen multiple times or many times, right? Own my impact. That's my impact. The next part is P, get present. P is for presence. And see what comes from here. See what arises. For me, well, I hope it's a deeper post. I hope it's a greater connection with you as a listener. That I was able to share something that's, you know, deeper and a little bit less surface. And sometimes I stay triggered. Honestly, I can't get present. So what now, right? P is also for pause. I just pause. I do nothing, okay? I sit here in the uncomfortableness of listening to Poe lick himself while I'm doing this video. He's a dog. That's what they do. Just like kids, they do what they do. Of course, he just stopped. Isn't that the way it goes? When I just acknowledge it and I just get present with it, it just stops. It's amazing. STOP, that's the acronym. Stop. Take a deep breath. Just get grounded to my leader within. I'm a leader. You are a leader in your life. You chose to watch this video, so you're a leader. O is own. Own my impact, own my crap, own my baggage, own whatever it is that's underneath what I think I'm upset about. Because I'm never upset about what the thing is I think I'm upset about. That's the truth. And P is get present and see what comes from here. For me, what's coming up is after I end this video, I'm going to go and pet Poe. And if it were one of my kiddos, I'd probably acknowledge them and say thank you for the learning. Thanks for the lesson about where I still need to work, where I still need to look, where I need to go deeper and see what the work is that I need to do around being good enough, being perfect, that kind of thing. So I just want to ask you, you've got that piece of paper out now, and it has your vision, just like your one sentence, okay, of what it is that you want to create. You might also have that list of things that are going wrong and are not working. You can keep that. That's great. On your paper that has your vision, okay, what you want in your life, in your relationship with your kids. And this could be a relationship with your partner. It could be a relationship with your boss. It could be any relationship. On that paper, write STOP. Okay, write the acronym. Stop. Take a breath. Own my impact. And get present. Underneath that, I want you to write down one way that you can utilize this or your vision. When I say this, I mean the STOP or anything that we've talked about in this conversation. What's one thing that you do? One structure, one little baby step. That could be posting it on the refrigerator. It could be having a conversation with your partner. It could be having a conversation with your kiddos. What's one thing that you will commit to doing? Not getting it perfect. I know a lot of people say, well, this is so hard. It's not about hard. It's about practice. Just practicing it. Just showing up. That's what we do as parents, right? We're showing up. So just write one thing down. And if you would, share it in the comments below, what it is that you're working on, what your baby step is that you're taking, and anything that you've learned, any ahas that you've gotten from this. And don't forget to subscribe, share this with your friends if you got something good out of it. And I will see you next time. Thank you.